Hey everybody, Mike from Tube Tape here with this week's Quick Bits. Now, a lot of you guys like to make action movies, horror movies, some really cool, fun stuff, but sometimes you might not have the most realistic looking blood. So this week, we're going to bring in Cecily to show you how to make some really good special effects blood.
Mike! Mike, oh my god! Oh my god, I didn't see the deer, Mike! I didn't see him! Oh, I'm bleeding from my eyes! How does that even
Cecily.
happen?
We're already recording.
Oh. You mean you told them already?
Yes, I did.
Alright, well, luckily for you guys, making fake blood is really easy and really cheap. I'm about to show you how to do it, and all the ingredients I used only cost about $6 at a local supermarket. So let me go clean up and I'll show you how it's done.
I'm going to go change my shirt.
Okay guys, let's get ready to get bloody. Now, if you need just a little bit of blood, say you're doing some face prosthetics, bloody noses, bloody lips, things like that, it might benefit you a little bit more to go down to a theatrical supply store and pick yourself up a little bottle of Ben Nye stage blood. Now, a little bit of this stuff goes a long way, but it's good because it's already mixed up for you. It's a perfect consistency, perfect color. It also washes out of any of your clothes. So basically the rule is if the fabric can go into the washing machine, then this stuff will wash out of it. It's also mint flavored. So that way, if it happens to get into an actor's mouth, it's not the end of the world. They aren't going to complain about it. Now, they do sell bigger jugs of this, but it does get really expensive really fast. So if you need a lot of blood, it's best to just make it at home. What you're going to need is a bottle of corn syrup, the light stuff. Don't get the dark stuff. You're going to need a little bit of cornstarch, some water, and red food coloring. And I also like to use a little bit of green food coloring. You can get some blue food coloring too if you really want that. Just because I'll show you a little bit later, but you know, the blood tends to be extremely bright red colored, which isn't necessarily really realistic. So you want to add some green or some blue just to kind of give it a more richer color. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to add a little bit of corn starch. Just like a spoonful is fine. And the good rule about this is that you really can't mess it up. You just kind of gotta do a little trial and error and make sure the consistency is good for what you're going for. So we'll add a generous amount of the corn syrup. Mix it together. Now you'll start to get like a jelly-like substance. That's okay, just keep mixing it. And now you'll start to see as it mixes together, it starts to get a little bit thicker. So this is when you want to add a little corn syrup at a time. And just keep mixing until you get a good consistency. You don't want any clumps of the corn starch in your blood, so just make sure you get all of that stirred in. Okay, so now you can see that it's a really thick gelatin-like substance, but all the cornstarch is mixed in. So now you just take a little bit of water and just kind of dilute it enough. Use a little bit at a time. So it just gets thinner to a consistency more blood-like. See, it's already starting to thin out. Just be careful not to use too much water because you can ruin a batch really quickly by using just a little bit too much water. Okay, so now we are starting to get a good consistency that I'm happy with. So now it's time to add the color. Now, the red food coloring goes a long way. So I would start with maybe adding 4 drops there. Okay, so already that's like a dark pink, so we'll add a little bit more. A few more drops. Okay, so now you can see we're starting to get kind of a really bright colored red, which again, not very realistic. So we can add a little bit of green, just a tiny bit. And now you can see already how dark it's getting. So that was just one drop. And then from here, it's really easy. You just add more red. Make it as dark as you want it or as fresh as you want it. And eventually you will get your perfect stage blood. That's all there is to it. Again, this is a really cheap, easy way to make a ton of blood. My only advice would be to make just as much as you need for what's going to get you by your shoot. This stuff doesn't keep very well in the fridge, so I wouldn't really recommend it. It's easier because it's such a quick process. It's easier to just make it as you go. So that's it.
Okay, so that's it. Again, most of the time, blood's going to be machine washable, but you might not want to just go ahead and use it on your favorite thing. You know, you might want to test it out first just to make sure. And as a reminder, it's also non-toxic, which is...
Oh my God, that feels so much better.
We'll see you next time.
You need a haircut.